Blood for the blood gods, kills for the throne of corn. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a chest and tricep day. Today went a little more conjugate-ish. I've been looking a lot at what I'm doing. I feel like, yeah, the bench has done good, but I really want to start stepping my bench up quite a bit. I want my bench to improve, even though physique is the number one focus right now. I feel like I just need to really bring my chest up a lot, and I need to take a different approach a little bit with some of what I've been doing with it. I've been doing a ton of incline and all those things, and I also feel like all the incline benching, it puts a lot of stress, particularly on my shoulders. Not saying it's been painful, but I feel like as my incline has improved, it's not carried over anymore to my benching. And so I did a couple of heavy sets here. I ramped up. I did a heavy triple, paused, and I went up to 325 to see what I could get. Got a double here. So again, two fairly heavy sets. But again, this is not really an improvement from the last couple weeks. Now, granted, I am leaning out just a hair, but I want to keep pounding just a heavy bench. I want to pound the heavy bench, and I'm also going to go back and look through kind of some stuff that I've used in the past, stuff I've used with a lot of my elite benchers. And yeah, I know that for me, floor press tends to build my chest really well, builds a lot of my other people's chests. And I'm like, so I've been putting all this focus on incline for, gosh, close to a year. Barbell incline, dumbbell incline, all these things. And I feel like now I just need to bring up the whole chest, right? I need to be doing the stuff that's going to really bring the whole chest up. So floor press tends to do really well for me. So I decided to ramp it up. And then I did pullovers too, because I feel a lot of pullover in my chest. So it's like, let's focus on, instead of all these incline angles, which I don't necessarily need at the moment. I feel like my incline, I've reached some incline PR goals that I had set. All right, I had already reached them, like getting 10 reps with 225. I've already done it. And eventually I'll come back over and work on the incline some more, but I'm like, let's hammer the floor press for a bit. And I wanted a little bit of an intro to it because I haven't done floor press in a long time. You guys have seen, I floor pressed, I think like what, for 350 is the most I've ever done. But I was also heavier, stronger back then. So I'm like, let's work on the floor press. I know it carries over to my bench. And I know that it builds my chest. In fact, I remember client Mikey, when we struggled with his chest, we used mostly floor press. And there's good data on this. A lot of people are like, what do you mean it's stopping an inch short of the chest? Yeah, but we have to use the chest to get the weight moving, right? Especially that stop. Like, I feel it lighten my whole chest up quite a bit. So I just ramped triples up, right? I just started with 225 and started adding weight, kept doing triples. I got 275 for triple. When I got up to 295, I struggled with a double. I feel like this is a good working spot, although I am going to want to increase maybe the volumes a little, rotate in a lot of flat bench, a lot of floor pressing, and then it's like, then we just need to hammer those triceps, right? I want to hammer the triceps. So I did some JM floor presses. I actually didn't put in the set. I did a 135 and it was really ugly for 5. So, but again, I want to get real strong on the JM floor press because that carried over. That's what actually also helped that in the band work, built my 365 close grip before. But I just feel like I need all this wider grip benching, the wider grip floor pressing. I want to continue to bring my chest up, but I also need to just hammer the triceps. And I feel like I had decently big triceps back when I would set a heavier body weight with a 365 close grip. All right. So again, I'm going to use some of those same tools again. Use those same tools, but I'm going to keep the pullovers in because I get such a great chest and tricep pump from the pullovers, and I feel like it's helped with my shoulder health. So I want to do that instead of loading all the heavy, deep stretching like all the incline benching. So I did the JM floor presses, and I like floor presses that are the JM. I've always liked this. I like them on the bench too, but these are just, they're so easy to set up. It's just easier to slide down, not worry about it hitting the hooks is easy. It's just a very comfortable thing. And if you're already floor pressing, you already have a bar set there. It's not a big deal to just leave it there and come back over. So I did a couple sets. I ramped weight because that first set definitely wasn't a failure. This one I got like 11 or 12 or something. I'm like, okay, I need to add a little more weight. These were super short breaks because I wanted to get this workout done. It's like, man, it took me a while to do all that kind of just ramp up and set up the floor press. So I wanted to get this workout done a lot quicker. Like I didn't want this workout to take much more than an hour. I'm trying to keep my workouts fairly brief, especially training 5 days a week. But As far as the floor presses go, every one of them felt heavy enough to stimulate, at least the 245 and up. So I'm surprised I kept getting triples. But I do feel like, man, we need to work on that floor press. That will definitely also help with my benching because I want that 375 bench this year. And I feel like I just don't have the chest and triceps to hit it right now. And the incline, as much as I love it for aesthetics, I still feel like it's not bringing everything that I want to the table for me at the moment. So I want to work some of this in. I want to work these other movements in for a bit, just for some variation, because I've been so incline dominant for the last year. Like, it has really dominated all of my chest training. And I also do feel like maybe my lower chest has suffered a little bit also. And again, my upper chest has done really well. I mean, like I said, I've paused incline at a 45 degree, 225 for 10, right? Plus I've done tons and tons of volume with the dumbbells on the incline. So I'm like, let's do that. And then I want to keep these pullovers in because people are like, man, is that enough chest volume with all the heavier weights? It actually does decently well. But if we really want to get some pump work and extra volume and stretch in, I can do the pullovers for that. This will actually improve my shoulder health, while getting that stretch on it. It also hammers that long head. I get an intense cramp in my triceps doing this. In fact, the whole back half of this workout, my triceps were just absolutely on fire. They were on fire. So I know that we got great tricep work in here. And the thing with that is because I'm like, let's do the pullovers. We'll do some sets of 20. Then I did 5 sets of the band press downs to failure. So we did all these pullovers. These are right around 20. I just started pausing and started losing count because I started doing longer and longer pauses. I just want to really get that stretch. But yeah, these lit my chest up. They lit my triceps up. Really, that long head, I felt it big time because I felt that lateral and medial head a lot on those JM presses. So this worked the whole tricep. In fact, even as I'm recording this right now, my triceps almost hurt sickeningly. But it makes sense because we did 11 sets of serious tricep work after the benching and the floor press. And I may mess with some floor press with chains. I'll mess with some other stuff. I might even, if I want to get a little bit extra deeper stretch on the chest, I may break the Buffalo bar back out. Not the Buffalo bar, the McDonald bar. And work some chest with that if I feel like I need the deeper stretch on the rep work. But for me, I don't miss right at the chest. I feel like for me, that floor press definitely carries over. Because when I close grip 365 with a pause and everything before, I actually had hit a 350 on a floor press previously. So again, the carryover is real. So I always know that whatever I can floor press, I can bench more. And I can do it probably with almost any grip. But again, it kind of hits my chest in a different way, but it's not that deep stretch. I am losing my enamorment at all with all this focus on the lengthened position stuff all these people are doing. It's never been necessary. And I'm not saying we shouldn't do some lengthened position. I think most of us should do a lengthened position exercise for maximum growth. I feel like we need these other positions, shortened positions, mid-range stuff. But the floor press, again, if you have a thick rib cage, and that's what people forget, if you got a thick rib cage or you got a big back, the floor press is not really a partial anymore. People with no back, they're like, dude, it's like 10 inches from their chest. But when you have lats like I do and a big, thick back, even with my long arms, like if I didn't have the long arms that I have, I would just pause on the chest on it, honestly. And I know plenty of big guys who touch their chest on the floor press. So, the point there is, for me, it actually works really well. It works really well. Then we lose the leg drive, and I can just lay in and just do it. And it just builds brute strength. The floor press is very much a brute strength exercise. It takes your bench technique out. But it also, again, makes it great for your chest development because of that. But yeah, so the pullovers, I decided to go ahead and work those back in today. I didn't do them last week. I'm like, work the pullovers back in. Plus they carry over to my lats and other stuff. And then after that, and it's like, and then just beat the triceps up. So after that, I just did the band press downs with really short breaks, less than a minute between sets, and just did 5 sets of the band press downs to failure. But with that heavier band, and these are all pause. It's not the whole fast I used to do. It's let's try to get that contraction. Why? Because I need it for the bench lockout. Also, again, if we're going to talk about the long head and everything, press down movements work the long head. And that's been forgotten when people have these discussions. But in this case, I'm trying to do the full range of motion. at least for my elbow. So I'm trying to lock and contract it. Again, if I'm struggling to follow through on a lockout on a bench, that will get me through that spot. Also, again, keeping shoulders healthy on the bench. That strong tricep lockout will help keep your shoulders healthier on the bench because of the bar paths involved. So again, for me at this point, let's just keep hammering triceps, but I want to work some different angles that I've been doing. Again, just to get a little variety. Let's be careful of overuse, right? I want to be careful of overuse in things, and let's go back to some other stuff I've used in the past when I had a really good close grip that was going up also, because that will carry over still to the wide grip on the tricep end. But yeah, lots of pause benching. We'll do heavy pause benching. We'll work in a lot of floor pressing again. And like I said, I may work with some of the other bars, like the McDonald bar a little bit, just for that extra pec stretch if need be. Make sure the pecs are working a couple of different angles. But yeah, pretty happy with today's workout. Felt like everything was good. Granted, I didn't get as many reps maybe on the later sets of the benching because I did a 315 pause and then I upped weight. So makes it a little more difficult, but still we got 2 really good sets and then we went over to the floor press. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.